Don't clench your teeth. Relax. Take a deep breath. I can help you with that. We can work on that as well. All right, howdy folks, welcome back. I know the intros are a little nerve-wracking, but think about something. It's not happening to you, so it's a good thing. It's a sign of God's handiwork. That should reassure you when you see this stuff, okay? You got to have a different perspective at this channel, okay? Or else I'll stop showing that as intros, because these are all signs, okay? This is all stuff that's good to see if you look at it in the proper perspective, okay? So don't let it get you nerve wracked. I'm going to get you relaxed by the end of the show. But there's certain things we got to take care of first. So let's get on over here to the solar report. Howdy folks, welcome back. I told you I would be back. And thank you so much for taking time out of your precious day to be with this precious family. The people here who understand know exactly how precious this family is. Okay. I'm going to let that loop play for a minute and let you guys just sit there and kind of decipher what you see going on there. It's going to take a second here. We're having a little... It's been one of those days, let's just say. So I'm going to relax and breathe. This thing will run smooth here in a second. Okay, there we go. Clearly some objects being captured there. We have a we have plasma building on the backside of them. All kinds of, look at this. This thing is like pointing, hey, watch this thing. It points right to it, and then the object emerges right after it points to it. We'll go through it frame by frame because it's glitching here a little bit. So let's see if we can get one smooth run. Sorry about that. It's an alert, but it can wait. Okay. Not every time do we have to stop what we're doing to look at the phone. But what we do need to do is take note. This is March 21st, 2024. Happy birthday to a friend of mine. First technical day of spring, okay, usually on the calendar. It's the first day of Aries as well, okay, the end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries. So take note of that. All right, so you can see this activity here, this going off up there, another one down here. So much going on now that we have to go frame by frame through this. So let me get it at the very beginning here. Catch it when it comes back around. Might as well do a little adjusting in the meantime. All right. Opening frame. 012. Okay, you can see this event already underway. Note it's coming off the spire. Remember I was talking about these spire regions? Note that these things are coming off of these spires. We already have another event underway up here. You can make out some kind of little shadowy something going on there with plasma streaking over it. Okay, right here. If I move my pointer. Okay, and then down here is another event going on as well as something right there. But that's just the opening frame. We got to keep going. So as this proceeds to develop here, you can see the indentation in the instrument right there. And then you can make out what looked to be maybe 3 objects right there. Let me back up to that frame right there is pretty good. Let me just zoom in on this one for you. How did everybody do today during their spiritual warfare? Were you guys able to keep calm during the day? All right, one right here, another right here, and what looks to be a third back in there. So these three together could create a magnetic bubble. This field right here, maybe something here making the indentation. This one's hard to tell, but as we go through this, it almost starts to look like one round object with three moons or something going along with it. All right. So hard to tell with this one right here, but it makes a weird face, and you can come over and check out the face. But there's that one. Also here, something else I want to point out is the plasma that dams up on the back side right here. Wait, let me go a few more frames. You can see how it's still white back here in this region. And then the instrument actually reacts to it here, I think, at the end. Or was supposed to. All right, so that's that event right there. Now, let's see if we can... Well, I'm just going to have to zoom back out. Yeah. Hang on a sec here. Sorry. In and out. But there's so much going on that I can't just keep going like that. All right, so we had this event moving out of the frame. Okay, great question, Brian. You ever think it may be an alternate dimension trying to merge with ours? Precisely. That's exactly what's happening. Okay, you're catching on. It's hard to come out and say it, but it's you'll see as we progress. It keeps pointing. Everything keeps pointing in that direction. It's the spiritual dimension. All right. Now we have this big event going off over here, which was off of this sunspot, this complex sunspot. And we'll get to that here in a minute too. That inbound, whatever it was, caused that clustered sunspot. Again, over here, whoops, if I can keep right on. Whoa, back here. All right, you can make out round black object right there. Seems to have like a little, two eyes, little mouth. You can come over here and check this out, but you can clearly see this round object right there and the way the plasma is reacting to it and draping around it and stuff. So the alternate dimension is in the same space as ours. It's what coming out of the dimension. That's what's going on with Skinwalker Ranch, I believe. My ranch makes Skinwalker Ranch look like Romper Room. No, not the Mandela effect, but very complicated. Let's just say there's a special person here on this planet, and the rest of the universe is showing up to witness what's about to go. All right, so there's that. And then you can see as it moves out, see this plasma damming up on the backside? I think this is the one where the instrument reacts to it. Right there, yeah. Now, the instrument reacting to that plasma shows me that there's that plasma dammed up on the backside of it. This also appears to have some kind of moons and stuff tagging along with it, too. And another one that's hard to decipher this time is whether this is a bigger object right here or if it's a cluster of objects. And let me just back out one dimension here. Dimensions can be zoomed in as well as zoomed out. Dimensions can be things slowed down as well as sped up. So dimensions are also different than what you think. It's a matter of perspective. Like when I zoom out of this, you can see it a lot better, but if it's too big in your face, you can't see it. It's like being able to back out of your body a little bit, out of your head, and view things from 100 yards behind you. All right, so let me get it just right. So you can see this event. Let me back up a few frames here. So you can see this one object right here. Now, as it goes by, you see the stretched out magnetic field here. There's something going on right up there. It just looked like it was a bigger event. There was something bigger back there than just that one small black object. All right. Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch doesn't have Mary and angels and demons and Satan showing up. Mine does. All right, let me back out of this because this one coming off the top is too hard to reach the buttons and keep it in the screen at the same time. Okay, so let's back up to this one. Now, this event, as it's unfolding, it's already unfolding behind the occulter, okay? You can see it just starting to merge from behind the occulter here, coming out right here, and then we have this. Now, whether this is an object streaking away or an object kind of shooting back at this emerging object, I think it's personally not shooting at it, but pointing at it. And we're going to go zoom in on this because we get these, refractions inside the camera, right? But this is different. You see this? This is a little object leaving a little streak down, a little darker streak down the middle. Let me go in tighter for you guys. Let's just go as far in as we can. All right, let me dim it down just a tad bit too. It looks a little bright on my screen. Let's go a tad bit lower. All right, hopefully you can see this little shadow, a little running down the middle of it. So this object is either streaking away with, energy shooting out the back or trailing some plasma, or in reverse, it's shooting down this way, illuminating the object that's about to come out from precisely that spot right after this frame. Whoops, let me back on out here and brighten this back up a tad bit. All right, now back to where we're. So take note. Also, I want you to take note that this instrumentation is actually responding to beam here, okay? So it's not just a camera effect. The instrumentation actually recognizes that as energy or plasma. To me, it looks like a big check mark. Ding, doesn't it? But, whoops, stay right there. Well, we're zoomed in, but when we come over here, you can see that it's pointing down here, and in the next couple frames, object's going to merge from that very spot. So it's like this thing is pointing at it saying, watch right here. All right, so we're going to watch right there. So, come back here. I was trying to slide this down so I can get the button. All right, so next couple frames here. Watch here as this object emerges right in here. All right, there's a good shot of it right there. Okay, you can see it draped in the plasma right in the middle right here. Let's go back up a little few. All right. So, points at it, and there it goes. And quite a blast. All right. So, there's also something going on right over here during this opening event. So we have something else going on over here. Looks to be something up here as well. Almost like a bigger object back in the shadows here with the smaller one that's causing this plasma to drape over. Hard to tell again, but you should come over to this instrument and go through this and mess around with it a little bit. All right, I'm going to put that back into motion here. And then I think maybe I'm going to speed it up so it's not stumpy. And scoot it over and let you guys kind of swallow what you're looking at there. All right, especially with the thing just pointing at it, indicating it. It's not like it blew it up, but maybe it could have, I don't know, changed its trajectory or warning shot, who knows? Maybe it's a welcoming signal or you have clearance or who knows? But there's definitely something going on there. Something different, something new, This activity around the sun never ceases to surprise. And then, pick a spot. Watch this one for a minute. Watch that one a couple of times. Watch this thing for a minute. Watch how they come out of these spire regions and how the spire disappears. So before it came out, there was a bright spire. Now it's gone. All right. You can see how these things point at them. Also, we have this dark region up here where this other event happened. Okay. So a lot of different things going on here. A lot of activity for March 21st, the first day of spring. Technically on like most calendars, when we make adjustments for leap day, then it shifts everything back. But usually, typically, first day of spring is March 21st. It's the first day of Aries. So there we go. There's your sun activity. Now let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover and we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. So hold on as we watch Big Buddy run. Okay, Smokey's got them ears on. He's right on your trail. He ain't gonna rest till you're in jail. All right, let me just get some of these wavy lines out of there. A little bit of adjustments. Right there, good enough. All right, you can see today's activity kind of mild looking. If you take out this, this data dump right there, it doesn't look like the day we just observed. All right, so sometimes this is an indicator and copies the activity we see, and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, this could be the one little spike, but maybe there was something that we missed right here. There was a big spike, and it just happened to be during the data dump or something. But this square kind of doesn't match up with what we just saw. All right, so there's your GOES X-ray flux for today. And then coming down here, M flare potential 45%, X flare potential 5%. Okay, that'll probably climb a little bit higher because of these sunspots. The latest one was an M2. All right, we still got this big bad boy 35 or 3615. Also, watch out for this one 3614. Even though it's not in red anymore, that's our that's another one to watch out. Okay, I don't know why it may have calmed down or something. Maybe after that object approached, caused the turmoil, and then the spire left. That sunspot has calmed down. Okay. Now, what's important now? Look at this over here on our KP. We're going to have to open up the page today because we've had an absorption event. All right. This was the one that was predicted that we watched come in for the last 3 days, predicted on the 21st. changeover, and there we go. And we're coming down slowly from it, but look how we had all this absorption, and then we had another event, which means a lot of energy just is being absorbed now down to the core, and we're going to see repercussions here from this in the next few days. Once that pressure transfers and starts heading back upward, as the magma heats and expands and pushes on the underside of the crust, we will see repercussions from this absorption event. Okay, this is the KP. We had when that happened, there was yellow here in the auroras. Okay, I didn't capture that. I was very busy today. But as we look at our auroras right now, they're pretty weak. Well, mild. They're in the 1 category. They're not in the yellow, but still some energy we're taking on. Okay, they're not totally faded tonight. They're pretty vibrant green. So we're taking on some energy. Now, let's see if I can get this to play. Please, Lord. Full screen. If we can. Everybody say a prayer for this little machine. Go, baby, go. You can do it. All right. Yeah, I want to capture this event right there for you guys. Okay, that's our magnetic our complex magnetic field. Or actually, it's the more organized one up, I believe. But that's the ripple effect that we could see. See how one connects and it causes others to connect? So, whoops. Quite the event we had coming off of that big sunspot region right there. And that's where the thing came off that moved up across the screen. Remember, the thing was pointing at it? It came out of this region right there. And that's facing towards us. So even though this kind of blasted up and away, whoops, if we can just get it right about there. You see this trajectory coming out of there? Oh, I don't want that. Thank you. But you see this trajectory kind of flowing this way. It looks to go up and out, but still stuff comes out in a circle in all directions. So if it's on this side and we're facing it, it's facing us, we could see repercussions from this. I'm sure we had KP problems from it. But there's your blast right there. Very magnetically complex blast here. Please just replay one more time. One more time for you there. See how it reaches out and connects with other fields? That was just like that magnetic complex thing. A plus minus, once one connects, it causes another to connect. They all loop together sometimes. That's the different sunspot, but that's the effect that it can have. So let's pull back out of that. Continue on over here to the tracker and see what they got tracking for us. Here's your event that we had here at the change of the 2021st. Yeah, they're not showing anything on this yet from that explosion there. There may be no CME. It may just be the X-flare. So let's get into this article real quick. Beautiful filament eruption just to the north of 3614 and stretching hundreds of thousands of kilometers was observed in the northeast quadrant beginning around 1730, March 21st. So far, it appears that any of the plasma that may have escaped will be directed well to the north. A further update will be provided if necessary. Okay, we saw the main trajectory kind of coming up that way. But the fact that it's still on this side of the sun, it's not behind the limb. And if we can see it, the light from that, the light at least is still going to hit us. All right. And I'm sure it left a pretty good dent on the thing. So a minor G1 geomagnetic storming has been observed at higher latitudes following a prolonged period of southward BZ. Okay. This is where the BZ is going to get weird. and it comes into play. The solar wind stream remains enhanced following the initial weak CME passage very early Thursday morning. Aurora sky watchers around the polar zone should be alerted in the next 24 hours. All right, welcome to this is the 7.4 that came out of that lower region already, and it was crackling and popping. It's doing something similar to the one that we had just above it here. Real quick, I want to pop this one open here. Take a look at all right, so there's 3614. That's the one that just crackled and popped and did all that crazy activity, but then has calmed down. All right. This one right here is the one that we're going to be talking about here in a second. All right. So let's back out of that. Whoops. What was this one they had circled here? Maybe this got a new one breaking out, maybe right there. Anyways, this region is in the southern hemisphere of the sun where we're located. Okay. So let's back on out of this and get on over to our solar report over here, space.com. Sorry. So the minor geomagnetic storm, G1 class storm, is underway on March 21st following the impact of the CME. All right, we saw that on the KP. At first, the CME's arrival did not spark a geomagnetic storm. Its impact was too weak. The current storm began later when Earth encountered a region of south-pointing magnetism with the CME's extended wake. Okay, that's the BZ. It changed polarity. It started pointing south. This is the CME. This south-pointing magnetism with the CME extended wake. Earth encountered a region of south-pointing magnetism within the CME's extended wake. This is the CME hurled into space from that filament eruption that we saw. Look at this one down here. Remember this just a few days ago? That's the one that made impact today. Now, let's get to scattered and shattered. Much like my body, which is shattered and scattered instead. All right. AR 3615 isn't like most other sunspots. It looks like it has been stepped on and shattered. Earlier today, Philippe from France photographed the sunspot's 40-plus cores and inserted a picture of the Earth for scale. 40-plus cores all scattered through here with all those different all that magnetic complexity that I showed you the other day, with positive, negatives sitting right next to each other with another positive over here and a negative over there, and it could match anyways. Anyway, so here's this huge sunspot field. Okay, here's the biggest region right there. Let me get my pointer out of there, and you can see the Earth to scale right there. It's not a big sunspot that's 4 times the size of the Earth. It's a shotgun blast of like 40 different sunspots, each with polarity hookups. So if one of those hook up with one, it could cause another to jump and spark. Okay, much like a electricity can arc and jump. Okay, we could see that jumping effect that we saw in that other sunspot. Okay, especially from this. All right, so everybody keep praying. We'll watch this closely, but this is getting very, very dicey right here, okay? And it's still rounding off to face Earth, okay? So, it's not like most other sunspots. Looks like it's been stepped on and shattered. Again, 40-plus cores. Okay, only 1 or 2 of the sunspot's primary cores are close in size to the Earth. I think they left an A out right there. Okay, so only 2 of the sunspots are close in size to the Earth. The others are about the size of moons or continents, all scattered like dice over an area some 200,000 kilometers wide. The unusual complexity of 3615 is a sign of potential danger. Listen up now. Magnetic poles from all these cores are crowded. Opposite polarities pressed together could reconnect explosively. Reconnect explosively. All right, that's what we just saw out of the other sunspot region that was just above. So they could reconnect explosively to produce a strong solar flare. Indeed, it would not be surprised if 3615 produced an X flare before the coming weekend is over. They're predicting an X flare. I didn't say it. They're saying pretty much it wouldn't surprise if it produced an X flare, and you can see why. All right. Very big, very strong, very scattered out, multiple polarities on that one. In fact, what I want to do real quick, was it 20? I just want to go back to their article a couple of days ago where they showed the sunspot complexity, this image right here. All right. I want you to, again, think of all the different possibilities of hookups: positive, negative, a positive, negative, or this way, or a positive, negative, or a positive, negative. Here's another positive, negative. It could go that way. There's another positive, negative down here. This could jump there. All kinds of crisscross, different possibilities, all mashed up in that one sunspot region. And that was when it looked more like this, like a rash. Now it's progressed, well, to the latest image that we just saw over here. Whoops. Nope, not there. Next one. Dang it, did I not go all the way down? There it is. All right, so it's even more scattered, even more peppered, even more dangerous, okay? So everybody just be very, very careful. Practice your spiritual work every day, okay? Because if that thing kicks off an X flare before the coming weekend is over, well, make for a rough weekend, all right? Thankfully, we haven't had that, all right? So remember, it could be worse. We're blessed right now that thing hasn't fired off yet. So everybody's, remember, we're blessed that it hasn't yet. So keep praying. How does that affect the sun? Eclipse going from west to east? Mandela effect? No. It's not going to affect the sun moving west to east. There's no Mandela effect. What's happening with the Mandela effect, I can tell you later on in the spiritual report. Actually, I would prefer to do that personally, maybe in the comment section and not on the live stream, but I can help you understand that. All right, let's get back to this real quick. All right, so sunspot, just real quick. Unusual complexities, potential danger, could produce an X flare. All right. Polar vortex is spinning backwards. We were talking about this last night. All right. All of a sudden, these guys are admitting that the polar vortex is spinning backwards. Since it changed direction around March 4th, well, that's when that subvortex kind of peeled off and got broader and bigger in size than the main vortex. And then it pushed the main vortex, flattened it out, and took over. So we watched all that unfold, okay? And now these guys are catching up and finally admitting what we already knew, okay? You see the news before the news here at this channel, all right? Still, they're talking about it. All right, now we got to keep moving on. We're going to that vortex here in just a second, but we got to come over real quick and check the Schumann. All right, now, we just took on a bunch of energy on the KP. We saw it. It's going to transfer down to the core. We're going to see the core and the shell heat up, expand, start to grind, and I expect to see a nice white blast or a nice grinding event happening here in the near future. All right. You can see at the present moment, we're putting right along. All right. We had a little dimming there. That was from last night. We showed you another little small event right there. Got super strong right here. All right, something almost spun the core a little faster. maybe it released. It was kind of seasoned up right in here. It released and started spinning a little faster to make up, or, get going again, and then got weak a little bit after that, and then starts continuity again. This isn't our line. It's the one right above. I'm just trying not to cover it. All right. So that's our line right up above here. Finally, even though we had a little charging going on right here, we have some continuity, which we need during these impacts. All right. And this is probably going to change. If we look, you can already see some little white lines right up in here starting to scrape and stuff right here. That's an indication that this event, it's just coming. It's like right over here in the next coming hours. I'm going to refresh real quick, see if we can get a couple extra bars. All right, still maintaining pretty strong field right there. Good continuity. Good. All right, that's good. Now let's get on over here back to our polar vortex. I'm going to have to change the order of these and start reporting in a different order because I don't want to lose the thread and lose your guys' train of thought when this stuff isn't the most, well, it is simple, but not for everybody. Okay, before we get into this, I want everybody to take a nice deep breath all the way in, hold it for a minute, and exhale nice and slow. Okay, here we go. What you're about to see is going to be confusing. Well, let's just kind of get into it. So let me just make sure we're at the right air. All right, so we're up here, polar vortex. We got the wind turned, and okay, let's start up here. We have our main vortex going this way. All right, that's the one that they're saying is going backwards. We have our sub-vortex. What the heck? Did this thing just all change up on me? No. What the heck just happened here? Hang on just a second. I had some other stuff that was showing up on here, and it looks like this just changed drastically within the last couple hours here, or what? Huh. You know what? Maybe I need to go back and just refresh this whole page. Wait a second. This isn't what it was showing just a little while ago. All right, well, let's just get into it because we got this vortex going this way. Well, this is not the polar vortex level. Oh, I know what's wrong. We're on the wrong year. There we go. Yeah, I was going back and comparing to last year, and I'm wondering, like, what? This is not what I just saw a little while ago. That's my bad. I forgot to reset it back to where we are. All right, so, now, hold on tight. Here we go. So from this perspective, here's your main polar vortex, which is going the wrong direction. All right. This was our main polar vortex. That when this one expanded, it pinched this one south. All right. This one's still pretty powerful, well organized. All right, and very strong. Do you see this one starting to weaken now and collapse? It's still managing to to connect, but that little bubble that was up here yesterday is actually creeping in now and disrupting the entire vortex. And this one seems to start to be collapsing. All right. But it's still there. It's still technically there. And it's still our polar vortex, even though it looks to be collapsing. Now, going on over here is some craziness. We have that sub-vortex that was our old polar vortex right here. Okay. We have another vortex here in the middle. It doesn't look like it's pinched off, but when I zoom in here in a minute, you'll see. There's another vortex going on right here, as well as another one right there. All right. So when I pull back here, you're going to see 5 different vortexes. This one's pinched off. We'll zoom in on it in a minute. Trust me for a second. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and our 5th. All right. So some very, very weird activity going on here. And we are in the transition. And that's why I went back to last year to see if we had anything close to this effect. And there was only 2 small vortexes that were weak, that were diminishing. There was nothing like this. And let's just do that real quick here. Sorry, it's a waste of time, but I went back to 2023, same day this last year. And here's your polar vortex effect back then. Nothing. See this one rotating here, the other one diminishing and dying off. It was nothing like what we just saw. All right, so it's way out of character. That's what your polar vortex used to look like last year at this time. So let's go back to this year, get back on track. So this one over America is rotating the right way. It's actually drawing its inflow now across the country, the proper direction again, but it's combining with this flow and shooting out here towards Africa. This one over here that's above Great Britain. Let me just zoom in really quick. All right, here's the little spot, this X. It's like shaped like an X where all these 4 winds come into, into the same area. But look here at the core of this rotation, you can see that indeed it has looped and completed a vortex. That's what I call a completed vortex. All right, when it all the full circle. So that one is a completed vortex sitting right over right over England. Now, all these different vortexes and the way they're rotating and the dynamics of them, you see how we have a fire hose effect going this way. We have one going up this way as well now. And we have a third one shooting down there. Please, Phil. Yeah. So, quite a drastic change again. And then another one shooting up there. So, look at that. Womp, 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 womp. All over the place. Kind of like the carnival ride. Two old eyes, a big old nose, and a big mouth down here. All right, but some really, really crazy vortexes going on. It's more than just our polar vortex going backwards. All right, they're a couple weeks late on that. We've evolved each day very drastically each day to this stage now. All right, now we're getting this curl back effect coming back here. All kinds of different flows. You see this flow coming down here off of this vortex, tearing away and coming down to feed this lower. So all kinds of wonky flow, weird patterns, flow asymmetries that are just not what we're used to seeing. Okay, so you probably only see this here at this channel. You can come over to this instrument and look at it yourself and beat me to it if you want. Or, monitor the progress of this throughout the day. Which, I was going to do something in the spiritual report. Sometimes it's not good to look at the news the first thing in the morning. Go about your day. Do your entire day's worth of stuff. And then at the end of the day, sit down and just check a few headlines. Don't read too deep into the stories. Check a few headlines, because the deeper you get into the lies that they're feeding you, the harder it is to undo. But look at this wonky zigzag pattern going down the planet again here. And then something else I want to point out now. We had all these vortexes up here. There were 5. Now let's go down to the southern hemisphere. Check this out. They got 2 vortexes in the southern hemisphere. The southern hemisphere is going bipolar as well. So there's a total of 7 vortexes on the planet right now. 5 in the northern and 2 at the southern. And all kinds of potential for other ones to start going, like right here. I mean, it's just starting to look like a vortex city instead of just normal flow. See this going on right here? Where were some other areas I was looking at where it was going over the equator? It was taking stuff from the top. Oh, I think right here. No, but you can see this one right here. All right. Here's stuff that's north of the equator right here, being dragged in and pulled down. Some of it recycled back up. But you can see that equator line, and then this energy north of it getting pulled into that vortex. All right, so it's crossing boundaries. Here's another potential right here. It's kind of smashed out. So no telling what's going to go on here. This stuff is, like I said, getting very strange. This is up at the stratosphere, okay? This is the highest level up there. Now, let's drop down a little bit here. Let me get it located over America a little bit here. So now we're going to go down to our transition zone, all right? And it has increased in strength now, all right? Notice here we have more of a vortex going on in the transition layer, a big, broad, but it does have a center of rotation. And when it caps off at the top, stops peeling away and goes right back around to recycle. And then the intensity over here in the transition zone with this vortex going on. All right. Now, usually this area is a little calmer. It's not so intense in this transition zone until you get down to the upper jet. So right there, that's what's happening at our transition level. Now let's take you down here. Let's get you back around to America so you can see, get oriented. Okay, so that's your transition zone. Our wedge or our ridge right here, our polar vortex is now shunted more northward. It's really disrupted this zone, and it's causing stuff to go up here and stuff to go down. Well, that ridge is moving and creeping northward now. All right. And now the stuff that's going south doesn't have so far south to dip. All right. See, it's kind of more straight line coming across. If I take out the box, my bad. Okay. The northern shunt that goes up there is very weak. It's still reaching over, but it's very weak. The rest of it's getting caught up in this. All right. So there's this bipolar vortex activity happening in the transition zone, which now I'm going to take you to the upper jet, and you'll see the correlation. Okay, that ridge that went up here, still going up there, but there's a shortcut through the middle. Okay, so shortcut through the middle, but mainly the main flow going down through there. Back this out of there again. All right, so you can see that ridge that it, is shunting stuff to the north. It was pushing stuff way down to the south. Look how now it's able to creep in a little further north underneath this now. Before everything was going way down here. Now this area is starting to fill in because that ridge on the upper level is creeping further north, causing this new effect. All right, so you see cold air coming down, getting caught in this and being thrown right at the west coast, right, with warm air coming off the tropics mixing in. It goes across Mexico, even jumps up into the south here. Okay, this one comes down out of the north. They combine almost right there coming off the coast. So some very crazy jet stream activity, which it is transition season. We do have crazy jet stream activity during this time of the year. Okay, and that was last year at this time. So we do get some different jet stream events and stuff during this transition season, but there's a lot more drastic going on now compared to last year. All right, now, sorry, let's get down to lower jet. You can see this is where your storms are riding. Pull this down real quick again so you can see this flow coming off of the east here, getting together over the Pacific, getting split up a little bit, getting shunted south, and getting shunted north, and then coming back down over the Great Lakes region right there. So now we're going to go down to the weather. We have this rotating storm off the coast, about to approach the Pacific Northwest, California for the weekend there. I'll ruin my birthday. Anyways, nah, I'm going to have a good birthday. This big one back here is one to watch now. All right, it's gaining. It's still pretty strong, very organized. Still looking kind of like a hurricane, typhoon type thing. Luckily, it moved out to sea and didn't like approach Japan and strike them at all. Okay, so there's all that going on right there. See the southern hemisphere? It's getting wonky down there too. All right, so let me back out of this and change over now. We're going to go over to our particulates. To the sandstorms. Wow. Okay, this one in Africa is going berserk. And you can see it's growing size. Look how the wind has picked up that sand, rotating it up into, well, right through the Straits of Gibraltar up into Spain. Also coming up into this region across the Mediterranean right there. So you see how this wind has picked up that sand and is starting to, take it around the country and spread it around the world and stuff. Meanwhile, over in Saudi Arabia, they still have a sandstorm going on. Over here off of the Caspian Sea, as well as over this Gobi Desert region here in China. This actually seems to have shifted a little bit. Let's see the wind patterns. Interesting. But you can see the wind picking up this sand. This sand gets, gets charged, static charge to it. It becomes lighter than air. The wind picks it up and it turns into the particulates, and they're floating around in the air, giving you, red sunsets, hazy days, because there's a lot of particulates in the air, as well as this. This also has the effect of adding more potential for the air to hold moisture, more particulates for raindrops to cling to, all right, as well as all the ash and gas and stuff that's in the air. All right, so there's our sandstorm report. Nobody even covers this anymore, but I refuse to let go. I am a pit bull. I will not let go. I have lockjaw. You thought you clinched your teeth? Shoot, that's what I'm telling you. Don't clench your teeth. I bit out all my teeth. Anyways, let's get on with this. Coming over the chemicals here. I'll pull up some SO2 here for us. So I should good to relax your jaw, breathe. Find yourself clenching your jaw. Try to breathe, relax. All right, very well. Trying to get it because I don't want to be cheating here, but it has darkened up in this region. It's more organized. All right, it's darker. These middle patches here have darkened in. We can zoom in a little bit here. All right, you see some black in some of these areas. That tells you right there that pressure has increased and is pushing more gas out through the perforations in the crust. So, increase in pressure, especially right there. Look how it's creeped up into this region over here as well. All right, getting more intense up in there. Look how India has intensified since yesterday. Over here by Saudi Arabia, a lot darker. Their patches have really grown in size and darkened in. Okay, indication of pressure on ice, not just regionally, but this whole region. Look at Europe. It's a little darker than yesterday. More and darker, intense plumes like that. Over in this region. Okay, so definitely increase in pressure. Let's come over here and check out the country divided. One half bleeding out, the other half clearing up. You can see there's a defined line right there being drawn. Kind of, it's just, we've seen this for a while now. Anyways, let's continue on. You can tell that this region over here, very spotty, but over here had lightened up the other day. It's still kind of light in this little region right here, but up here kind of filled in a little bit. Not too bad, but a different shade there tonight. All right, so we're going to have to push it back up to 7. We got 7 vortexes. Let's just put it at 7. Okay. You see this thing right in the middle of the screen? That is not an island. That is not a cloud. You see this grayscale over here on the SO2 at the surface mass? All right. That is SO2 at the surface in the gray color. It's not very concentrated like it is at the air, but at the surface, look, again, we're at the surface mass. Okay, that's what the SM stands for. Well, maybe you can't see it down there in the corner, but that's at the surface. That is a plume of SO2 that's emerging from the water out there. Remember we were talking about Tamumasi out here? And all of a sudden we're seeing SO2 emissions out here in the middle of the ocean. Look, it's reaching up into there too. See this little area off the coast of the Aleutians here? There's even some being emitted here in the bay. If it were on land, it would be different. It would be the land, but this isn't land. This is out in the water. Look at this little plume up here off of the coast of, oh boy. Okay, you guys, you seeing what I'm seeing here? Take a deep breath. Nothing to freak out about yet. It's just gas. But we do have a plume of sulfur dioxide emitting from the ocean in the waters off of Oregon, Washington now. All right. Where else do we need to look around? Oh dear. All in the waters out here. Wow, look how all that darkened in right there. But you can sure see that one right there in the middle. And that's out where, in that region, where the biggest volcano on this planet is. So an indicator that we're getting gas emissions from the ocean floor that are making to the surface of the water and emitting from the surface of the water. All right, so this is progressing. It's due to the pressure We're having more pressure. We're seeing it coming out of the water now. Okay, so that's a good indication that the pressure's on the rise. Let's come on over here to Java as well. Okay. Take a deep breath. It's darkening in as well. I'll put a little wind in there so you can see that wind is taking some of it off the land out into the water. All right, so it's kind of dark purple. We got little fresh air coming in here, recycling this out right there. So it has darkened up through Java. If you shoved all that smoke back down over the land, or all this sulfur back over the island, it would be a darker purple. Okay, so that's an indication that the pressure down below has increased. We took on that energy from the sun. I showed you on the KP. All right, and now we're seeing it translate here. Whoa, look at this. This changed. There used to be a bunch of little individual sites. Now they're all small and kind of weak. More concentrated right around that area. But here's our spot. It's not very dark tonight. It's very small. The other two spots are very small as well. Even though the wind's blowing right there, it's not really taking it too far away. So it looks like really pressure in South America has been relieved a little bit. Look down here at the south. It's still, oh dear. I think I know why pressure's been relieved in that area. I don't know. Anyways, let's continue on. So there's your pressure for the SO2. It's darkened up. There's more pressure built up down below. Let's come on over to the earthquake report now. Get through this. All right, here we are at our deep spot. We got our 4.2 down at 514. Okay, so there's a deep quake now. A 4.2, it's a little less than our normal 4.5 that we're used to seeing, but there is a 4.5 down at 515. So we've had two deep quakes, both mid-range 4s. We don't see much energy at the surface yet. What's going on here? Well, 4.9 at 36. Now that one. 5-0 here at Indonesia. Now, this is the island of Java. We're used to seeing them over here on this side of the island, down by the boundary. Now up here in this plateau, in this bay, this shallow bay here, we have a 5.6 and a 5.0. So two, a 5 and a mid-range 5, right here at our release valve of Java. All right, so not only are the volcanoes going off there, they had a 5 and a mid-range 5 today. Up here at Taiwan, our fulcrum point here, 4.7 down at 27. Okay, let's just get up to these real quick. 4.3. And then a deep one here, a 4.1 down at 460 in this little, it's not in the deep pocket, it's up in this one. And these ones tend to don't make a bigger quake at the surface. So a deep 4.1 right there, but pretty much that's the activity we see in that region. Surprisingly, right next to Kamchatka, where we have volcanoes going off. So if we have volcanoes going off and we're having earthquakes right next to it, indication of the pressure. Same with, Lord, please. Okay. Same with down here in Java. We're seeing all these volcanoes going off on this island and earthquakes right next to it, an indication of the increase in pressure. Over here at this fulcrum point now, we have a 5.1 in Tajikistan. That's a pretty good quake for that region. We haven't seen one that powerful in a while. So that's another indicator of the increase in pressure. I'm reaching over here into Italy, Greece, 4.8 at a depth of 10 there. Okay, so we're seeing a little activity going on here. This place is lighting up with a 3.0 or 3.1 here in Puerto Rico. Now, as we come over here to California. Please, Lord, help me. We'll put on all the magnitudes. And take down that, please. All right. Whoops. I zoomed in a little too much, too fast. All right. So let's get up here to our Juan de Fuca. We had this 2.8 out here on the boundary, just south of the Fulcrum. Right off the coast here, right by the Fulcrum, 1.6, some small ones. Going on right here at the geysers is a pretty healthy quake swarm going on here. Largest is like a 3.1, and then a bunch of little ones, and there's some red ones right in there right now that you can see. So we have current earthquake activity as we speak going off in our little relief point right here in California. We just had a quake right here at the Golden Gate Bridge, or right outside the bay right here. That's a fresh one. It's a 2.1. It's not a big one, but that's a brand new quake right outside the Golden Gate. Look, there's the bridge. There's the drop off, and right out here in the ocean, just off the drop off, is that quake. Indicator of could be a weak spot forming right there. Everybody watch out. Not trying to freak people out, just be aware. 1.8s, bunch of little smaller stuff kind of creeping down the fault line today. All right, this latest quake over here is a 2.5. Little activity out in the Sears Valley out there where we saw big quakes before. Down here in this region, 2.3. What's this bigger one? A 3.0 here in Desert Center, California, just outside of the Salton Sea there. A little smaller quakes activity, all kind of just this side of the fault. Something out in the water here as well. 2s and a 1.8. But as we pull back, you can see that activity here moving around in California. Energy has made it down this way and is creeping through the area. We have pressure from underneath that's pushing up in all regions, really. So let me pull back to regular 1 days. Cocos Plate, very quiet. All right. Oh, there's the Surfer Girl. All right. There's a 4.1 right there in Chile. All right. And the rest, very quiet. All right. But we do have more pressure down below. So expect to see a little rise in earthquake activity as well as magnitude. We'll see a little pickup in magnitude as well. Same with earthquakes near volcanoes. You might see more of this activity where we're releasing more pressure in this region right here than, say, any other region or any other part around there. So earthquakes next to volcanoes. All right, and we're seeing activity going off over here by Haiti. This is Puerto Rico. Haiti and Dominican Republic are right there, but they've seen big quakes in this region before, but right now, nice and small, but recent activity. Of course, I'm not showing up anything up there. We'll get into that. All right, Lord, please let the volcano report work tonight. There's your earthquake report. I'm glad you guys are catching on with this and enduring this part of the show to get to the spiritual report. I know some people like this part better than the spiritual report. That's unfortunate, but c'est la vie. March 22nd already, Fuego, Ibu, Ventador, Nevada, and Sabancaya. Ibu here had one to 12,000. All right, yesterday it was 10,000. Now it's up to 12. We got Fuego here at 14,000. Nevada Del Ruiz, mild explosive activity continues. Sporadic emissions of volcanic ash. Reventador, nothing really in as far as altitudes. So let's just open up the 21st. Please, Lord, can we have the volcano report in your time? It'll be just a second. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. We're going to get to some stuff tonight in the spiritual report, so we're getting closer to it. You need to step away and go to the bathroom or do whatever before that. Now's a good time. Recahenus, no significant change in the activity has occurred in the past 24 hours. Hence, the eruptions persist at well-balanced levels. They'll probably increase now that we have a little surge of pressure. Okay, if we can have this, please, Lord. I just want to scroll. Bongana down here was finally on this report here. Why is this frozen up? Can we please have this back? All right, sorry about that. We'll freeze up while we're waiting here. Oh, we're waiting for their ad. Oh, how lovely. Try to laugh at it, folks. 10,000 feet out of Bongana. All right, that's increasing in height as well. Yesterday it was just spewing some other stuff. Now it's 10,000 foot blast. Can we continue? Look at these lava bombs coming out down here. Indication of lava shooting right up out of the perforations in the crust. That's a volcano or a fissure. 10,000 feet. Here's Ebu. 110,000. Marapi, 14,000. Semaru, probably way up there. This one is the one we kind of need to know, but I bet you it was above 14,000 because it's been our little relief point lately. Popocatépetl, 19,000. Santa Aguido, sporadic ash emissions. Fuego, 16,000. That's a little high for Fuego. Reventador, 15,000. Sabancaya, 24,000. All right, so we're reaching some good heights right there. All right, and I think that's about all. 24,000 feet. And then that was yesterday's, the 20th. So all these are, reaching some high altitudes. And since yesterday, a couple of them increased in height already today. Which one was it? Right here. Ebu was 110 earlier today. And then yesterday, or already today, so 110. And now Ebu is at 12,000. It was at 110. Now it's at 120. So it increased in height, which is that pressure. You're seeing the effects. All right, so enough of that. Let's get on over. Let's get on over to our forecast here. So I can X out of this page. So a lot of activity, volcano activity sitting right next to earthquake activity. All right, here goes your little. See the ball going up across the top there. We don't have all the data. Got to it late, but that's okay. We really only want to report on the next few events anyway. Okay, back this up. All right, current conditions, nighttime of the 21st. You saw this blossoming yesterday down here in the coast. It's going to hit here in the morning here of the 22nd, just like I said last night. So everybody on the western coast of Florida, prepare for severe weather in the morning of the 22nd through the noontime, even at convection at the southern tip and the Keys. By nighttime, it shifts. We get little branches coming off here up in southern South Carolina and Georgia. They move up along the coast there. Last time this was more offshore. This is a little deeper inland now. That's the morning of the 23rd. Noontime. Wow, right at convection, severe weather right over New York City, Long Island, Massachusetts, this huge swath right there. That's going to rock that city and that region right there at convection of the 23rd. Look at that. The rest stays offshore, luckily, but it does aim right at that region for some reason. And you can see the ice back up behind it here, all right, in that region, and snow up there too as well. So that's the end of convection, the 23rd, through the nighttime. It even stretches out and just offshore, but hitting like parts of Maine, Nova Scotia, tagging back here at Massachusetts, Cape right there. So still the nighttime of the 23rd going into the morning of the 24th. It finally clears out of there. This thing building back here on the morning of the 24th. There's the noontime convection. Already ice starting to form in between these two air layers right here by noontime. Convection, severe weather in the snow pocket there. That'll be the nighttime of the 24th. Morning of the 25th, noon, convection. See how we get this QLCS back down here? That's dangerous. Hopefully we don't have pop-ups out in front. It gets even more severe at nighttime into the morning hours. So that's a very dangerous event right there to watch out for. Still around the 25th, starting at convection, getting severe once the cloud tops get high. They really go nuts at night and still linger in the morning. So that's going to be a very dangerous event right there from the transition of the 25th to the 26th. That's the morning, noon, it's still there. By convection, we have two little split off, but little pop-ups possible there. And then at nighttime, it finally calms down. Morning of the 27th, as we have another storm approaching this. Noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 28th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 29th. Oh, we're getting more data now. Look at this. All right, cool. Morning of the 29th. Look at that. Yipe. And here, noon, convection, nighttime of the 29th. So the 29th right there for the West Coast, watch out. As well as this up in there. That's the nighttime of the 29th going into the morning of the 30th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 31st, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 1st. Don't be fooled on April Fool's up here. Morning of the 1st possible. Noon, convection, nighttime. The nighttime of the 1st right here. Starting at convection right there. You see these little pockets blossoming up in there. And then by nighttime of the 1st, going into the morning of the 2nd. Now, here's another nighttime morning transition. That could be very dangerous right there. Okay, catching people off guard until noontime there. So, nighttime of the 1st, no fooling. Morning of the 2nd, noon, convection. Look at this up here at convection as well as there. Nighttime, noon, or morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 4th, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, and the rest of that's the 5th right there possibly, but that's so far out in advance. So, ones to watch out for, this storm. Once it starting right here on April 1st. It actually kind of doesn't look like much the very morning. It's a little scattered stuff up there in Wisconsin, but as that thing kind of comes together, it convection, and then it really organizes at nighttime when everybody's sleeping and in the morning hours, and then when noontime, convection, nighttime. So it's a long duration event. Going from the nighttime right there to the nighttime right there. So nighttime the 1st, all the way till nighttime the 2nd, till noon or convection the 3rd, and it finally clears up by nighttime the 3rd. All right, so long duration severe weather outbreak possible with that eruption right there. That could all change. It could get more organized depending on what happens here. All right, so there's your weather report, your solar report, all your geoterraphysics, your astrophysics, and now we're going to get into the metaphysics, the spiritual report. After I X out of some of these instruments and get us a little bit of room to breathe here. Speaking of room to breathe, while we're doing this, Might as well start your breathing exercises. Get nice and calm and relaxed. You know what to do. Take a few long, deep breaths in. Focus on them too. Try to get the relaxing effect out of it. Okay, well, since we're already there, while we're kind of doing that, let's relive a few important events that have happened recently. Starting with this one. Please, Lord.
Coming in from Antonio. He's got an Instagram account. He posts several interesting videos, and lately a lot of people have been emailing me like, James.
This. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. I'm scared. 28, 29, 28, 29th, I have gotten me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky.
He bought a better quality camera so he can capture
I'm
this.
scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing.
He's zooming way in on the moon.
It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
What is that?
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture on the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something?
Okay.
Here we go. There it is.
All right. Oops. Maybe get a look.
Yep. There it is.
A little better shot right there. All right, for the moment. So that happened, what, 30 or 22 days ago? That just happened on February 29th of 2024. We're at March 22nd. So 23 days ago that happened. All right. So very recent. Then we also have some other events that happened not too long ago. Not that one. Not that one. What happened to my other one? Oh, it was this that got erased. Nope. So I guess we'll just use this one. Right? So we have those events that have happened lately. I wanted the other one. Where'd it go? Meanwhile, I'm just going to pull up some images to read to in a minute here. Let you guys get all settled in. This. Let me pull up something that got pulled down. Where'd it go? Oh, do. Where is it? I just had it pulled up. Why is it gone? Sorry, I'm trying to pull up something that was already here and now is gone. And it's important to this whole thing. We need to go over it. There it is. All right. Thank you, Lord. Did you guys see the hole in my hand? Were you able to see through it and still see the screen? I hope not. That would have been terrible. All right. We're coming back over to this event again. Very, very real event. EVPs captured in this event. In fact, we're going to do that EVP real quick because it's important that you hear what was said in a different dimension. Okay, we have to slow it down because it's being said at a different pace or different dimension. Why won't this let me slow down now? Yeah, I wanted to go less than the speed. Why is this jamming up now? Oh, Lord, please. Anyways, bear with me here. This event is something that was important. 5 times he showed up in the clouds walking, and he was also lightning was striking when his cane strikes. There were words that were said during that thing, and I wanted to capture them here. And for some reason, now, so at 3/4 speed, you get to hear this opening phrase. The first little parts are even slower, but the opening, it says, Jesus is close. And then the wind blows the word. Then he shows up in the clouds, and it says, he is the Christ that's coming quickly. Let me just get some audio going for you. A couple reminders of what's going on here. Okay, Jesus is close. The word. He is the Christ who's coming quickly. All right, then a few minutes later, let's just kind of excerpt some of the profanity. The next couple of events pop off here real quick. And then there's a message at the end that should be heard. And this is not to scare you. This should be relieving. You should see this and breathe a sigh of relief. Everybody else might be getting a little nervous, but my audience, you should be solid gold. All right, so there was that second little one. There's another little... I'll turn down the annoying speaker for a second here until we get to that part. You see him moving around back there with the lightning strike. Now, these lightning strikes, something about lightning strikes, okay? Guess who's in control of them? Coming up right about here. All right, let me get the sound pulled up here. Oh, come on now. Why do I have to always do that? Alright. Right here. Here. Right now. Here. Alright. So Jesus in the flesh, right now, here was the message in that little segment. And then right here towards the end, you can see it happen again, and it scares the cameraman so bad he closes the door. Those are reactions from a real event. When people react that way, that's fear. You heard him say, I don't know about this. They can't hear the messages in it, but they could see that man and the lightning striking when his cane hits the ground. Guess who's in charge of the lightning? Yeah, it's not HARP. It's not Bluebeam. You can see that somebody else can control the lightning. Whoops, where'd it go? Right there. All right. And I was going to try to capture that frame real quick if we can, Lord. Whoops. Adjust the speed. So there are EVPs captured during this event. There are paranormal activity, all right? Lightning striking when he puts his cane down. I'll dim that so you can see it a little bit better, all right? There's light behind him illuminating that huge shadow, all right? It's paranormal effect. All right, so this event just happened. right prior to the big face in the sky. All right. And then we also had the other face that with the in the sunset. All right. So some of our recent events. I'll come back to this one right here. I wanted a better little image of the face there, but we usually get that.
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter.
Super creepy.
There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture. I'm on the moon like it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's got to be an edit.
Yeah, it's got to be an edit. Yeah, it's funny they'll take
Over here.
a lens flare. Oh, that's
The
real.
impression I have is that.
But
if
when
the-
you get something real,
There he is.
I
His
got
huge
it.
face.
What is that?
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter.
All right, I wanted a better image of it, but we're gonna just come back to this here, and we'll read to this image, and we'll do our spiritual report now. So, without my ad here, a bunch of gunslingers. Don't they know that that leads to, well, to death? All right, so back to this image here again. Real event happened on Easter. 2,000-year-old
Go
prophet.
back and almost a little halo
Whoa, sorry.
around his head
Sorry.
too.
There we go. My bad. I want to get this. All right, there we go. I zoomed in. Pull that back. We'll even dim it some. Okay. Do we get this one still pulled up? And that one still pulled up. Where did it go? Nope. That was right there. All right, so there's our 3 images right there to read to tonight. All right, so let me get the light positioned. Everybody get all ready. Take your deep breaths. Jesus is close. The Word. He is the Christ who is coming quickly. He's in the flesh right now, here. Okay? Relax in my healing holy presence. Allow me to transform you through this time alone with me. As your thoughts center more and more on me, trust displaces fear and worry. Your mind is somewhat like a seesaw. As you trust in me goes up, fear and worry automatically go down. Time spent with me not only increases your trust, it also helps you discern what is important and what is not. Okay, so important. You guys, quit wasting time on stuff that's not important. This time spent with me is not only increases your trust, it also helps you discern what is important and what is not. Energy and time are precious, limited entities. Therefore, you need to use them wisely, focusing on what is truly important. As you walk close to me, saturating your mind with scripture, I will show you how to spend your time and energy. My word is a lamp to your feet. My presence is a light for your path. So come to me. This is my continual invitation to you, proclaimed in holy whispers. When your heart and mind are quiet, you can hear me inviting you to draw near. Coming close to me requires no great effort on your part. It is more like ceasing to resist the magnetic pull of my love. So there's a magnetic pull of my love and you're resisting it. So the more you cease to resist that magnetic pull of my love, that's coming close to me. It requires no great effort on your part. It's just ceasing to resist. Okay? Surrender. Open yourself to my loving presence so that I may fill you with my fullness. I want you to experience how wide and long and high and deep is my love for you, so that you can know that my love surpasses knowledge. I want you to know that my love surpasses knowledge. Come to me when you are weak and weary. Rest snugly in my everlasting arms. Do not despise your weakness. Actually, it draws me closer to you because weakness stirs up my compassion, my yearning to help. Accept yourself in your weakness, knowing that I understand how difficult your journey has been. Do not compare yourself with others who seem to skip along their life paths with ease. Their journeys have been different from yours, and I have gifted them with abundant energy. I have gifted you with fragility, providing opportunities for your spirit to blossom in my presence. So, fragility is the gift. I have gifted you with fragility, which provides opportunities for your spirit to blossom. Accept this gift as a sacred treasure, delicate yet glowing with brilliant light. Rather than struggling to disguise or deny your weaknesses, allow me to bless you richly through them. Okay? I want you to learn to enjoy life more. Relax, remembering that I am God with you. I crafted you with an enormous capacity to know me and enjoy my presence. If you guys know me and you enjoy my presence, it's because I crafted you with that capacity. I enjoy that. So relax, remembering that I am God with you. I crafted you this way. So when my people wear sour faces and walk through their lives with resigned rigidity, I am displeased. But when you walk through a day with childlike delight, savoring every blessing, you proclaim your trust in me, your ever present shepherd. The more you focus on my presence with you, the more fully you can enjoy life. Glorify me through your pleasure in me. Thus, you proclaim my presence to the watching world. Okay, here we go. Remember, I keep telling you about this is your foundation. I want you to be rock solid with this image right here. This is for the foundation. Let me read this part right here, okay? While looking at that, think about this. I am yours for all eternity. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the one who is and was and is to come. The world you inhabit is a place of constant changes, more than your mind can absorb without going into shock. Even the body you inhabit is changing relentlessly. In spite of modern science's attempts to prolong youth and life indefinitely, I, however, am the same yesterday and today and forever. Because I never change, your relationship with me provides a rock solid foundation for your life. Get it? Because I never change, your relationship with me provides a rock solid foundation for your life. I will never leave your side. When you move on from this life into the next, my presence beside you will shine brighter with each step. You have nothing to fear because I am with you for all time and throughout eternity. I got other ones. Another stack of Hang on, let me get another drink here. I got more for you. You guys waited this long to get here. Soak it in, absorb it. I brought you out into a spacious place. I rescued you because I delighted in you. You are in a spacious place of salvation, saved from being a slave to sin. Your salvation is the greatest, most lavish gift you could ever receive. Never stop thanking me for this infinitely precious gift. In the morning when you awaken, rejoice that I have adopted you into my royal family. Before you go to sleep at night, praise me for my glorious grace and all the blessings throughout the day. Live in ways that help others see me as the fountain of abundant, never-ending life. I delighted in you not because of your worthiness. Rather, I chose to delight in you and lavish my love on you. Since your best efforts could never be sufficient to save you, I clothed you in my own perfect righteousness. Wear this clothing of salvation gratefully, with overflowing joy. Remember, you are royalty now. You are royalty in my kingdom, where it matters, not in this world, okay? I delighted in you, not because of worthiness in you. Rather, I chose to delight in you and lavish my love on you. I chose to do this for you guys, to lavish my love on you. That's how much I love you guys. I want you to know this stuff and know it through and through. So you will have me as your foundation. This is what brings peace into your life. All right? So back to what So wear this clothing of salvation gratefully with overflowing joy. Remember that you are royalty in my kingdom where glory light shines eternally. So live as a child of light, securely robed in radiant righteousness. I am always doing something new in your life, so try to keep an open mind when you encounter things you have not seen before or even imagined. Try to keep an open mind when you encounter things you have not seen before or even imagined. Do not recoil from the unfamiliar without even taking time to determine whether it might be from me. Consider the trapeze artist. She must leave the safety of the swing she is on in order to move towards her goal. As she abandons the security of where she was, she will be briefly in flight until she connects with the next trapeze artist. At times, you may feel as if you're in flight when you experience newness that feels uncomfortable. Okay, you guys experiencing this? At times you may feel as if you're in flight. You're in that transition. You left the safety of one. You're going to the safety of another, but you're in between. You're in flight when you experience newness that feels uncomfortable. The temptation is to just criticize the changes and cling to the familiar. Instead of this knee-jerk response, come to me in prayer. Tell me your concerns and ask me to help you see the situation from my viewpoint. I am always with you and I hold you by your right hand. I guide you with my counsel, helping you discern to respond and go forward. You guys are moving forward, huh? Everybody else is sliding backwards and you guys are moving forward. I call you by name and lead you. I know you. I know every detail about you. You are never a number or a statistic to me. My involvement in your life is far more personal and intimate than you can comprehend. So follow me with a glad heart. After my resurrection, when Mary Magdalene mistook me for the gardener, I spoke one word, Mary. Hearing me say her name, she recognized me and cried out in Aramaic, Rabboni, which means the teacher or rabbi. I also speak your name in the depths of your spirit. When you read your Bible, try inserting your name into appropriate passages. Remember, I called you out of darkness into my marvelous light. I chose to set my everlasting love upon you. So take time to hear me speaking to you personally in Scripture, reassuring you of my love. The unshakable knowledge that I love you forever provides a firm foundation for your life. It strengthens you so that you can follow me faithfully and joyfully, proclaiming my praises as you journey through life with me. Remember that the fruit of the Spirit includes joy. Even in the midst of severe suffering, my Spirit can give you this wondrous gift. Feel free to ask the Holy Spirit to fill you with joy as often as you need. He resides in the deepest depths of your being, so the Holy Spirit's work within you is very effective because it resides in the deepest depths of your being. So, you cooperate with the Spirit by saturating your mind with Scripture and asking the Holy Spirit to illuminate it to you. One way the Holy Spirit increases your joy is to help you think my thoughts. The more you see things from my perspective, the more accurately you view your own life. Has this happened to you guys now? The more you see things from my perspective, the more accurately you see your own life. You need not only to know biblical truth, but to tell yourself the truth over and over each day. The world continually assaults your mind with lies and deceptions, so you must be diligent to recognize falsehood, dispel it, and replace it with biblical teachings and truth. The most glorious, life-changing truth is the gospel. I have died to save all who believe in me. I have risen, and I will come again. So rejoice in me always. We're almost done. I think that was it. Oh, last one. Let's close it out with this. To enjoy my presence more fully, you need to think less and less about yourself. This is not an arbitrary demand. It's the secret to living more abundantly, is being selfless, okay? It's not an arbitrary demand. It's not like I command you to be selfless. Just try it. The more selfless you are, it's a secret to living more abundantly. Self-forgetfulness is a delightful way to live. Try to become aware of how much time you spend thinking about yourself. Take a look at your mind's contents. Though your thoughts are not visible to other people unless you choose to share them, I see each and every one. When you realize your thinking is unworthy of me, make every effort to change the subject. If you're struggling with a self-centered idea that reoccurs again and again, try connecting it to a favorite scripture or a brief prayer. When you do this, when you're struggling with a self-centered idea, you connect it to a favorite scripture or a brief prayer. This forms a bridge for your attention away from yourself and towards me. For example, praying, I love you, Lord, can quickly direct your focus away from yourself and to me. If you have to repeat this process many times, don't be discouraged. You are training your mind to seek my face, and this endeavor is pleasing to me. So seek me, beloved, and live abundantly. Okay, I think that, what? You got a bonus for him, Lord? Guess we got a bonus. I did not load this page. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The backside of the other one. So, remember, if you have to repeat this process many times, don't be discouraged. You're training your mind to seek my face, and this endeavor pleases me. I am worthy of all your confidence, all your trust. There are people and things that deserve some of your confidence and some of your trust, but only I deserve all of it. In a world that seems increasingly unsafe and unpredictable, I am the rock that provides a firm foundation for your life. More than that, I am your rock in whom you can take refuge, for I am your God. You must not let your circumstances define your sense of security. Though it is natural for you to want to be in control of your life, I can empower you to live supernaturally, resting in my sovereign control. I am well-proved help in trouble, and I am always present with you. I help you face unwelcome changes and even catastrophic circumstances without fear. Okay? One more time. You must not let your circumstances define your sense of security. Though it is natural for you to want to be in control of your life, I can empower you to live supernaturally, resting in my sovereign control. I am well-proved help in trouble, and I am always present with you. I help you face unwelcome changes and even catastrophic circumstances without fear. Instead of letting anxious thoughts roam freely in your mind, lasso them back by voicing your hope in me. Then bring those captive thoughts into my presence, while I will disarm them. Whoever trusts in me is kept safe. So bring those captive thoughts into my presence, and I will disarm them. I am well-proved help in trouble. Instead of letting anxious thoughts roam freely in your mind, lasso those thoughts by voicing your hope in me. The moment you do that, it distracts your mind to me and takes your mind off of those anxious thoughts. It's a discipline, it's a practice that we're working on each night, okay? And we're going to keep on working on this because it's going to be, even though circumstances haven't gotten all too crazy yet, it's already taking effect, and you guys are getting peace and relief, aren't you? So try not to look at the news first thing in the day. Go about your day. Try to stall it as long as you can. Look at the headlines, but don't get too deep into it. Don't let it rattle your spirit. The moment it does, recognize that it's happened. Bring it to me. The moment you bring it to me, you start forgetting about it and you start feeling better. I am here to help. I am a well-proved help. Okay? I have helped all my psychiatrists. When this stuff started happening to me, I got sent to the loony bin. I've been through so many institutions, jails and stuff without anybody taking time to even look or listen. But during that whole process, I was able to help every doctor, every police officer, every person that was in the institution. They all walked out of there with smiles on their face going, wow, I feel a lot better. And it's well-proved, okay? The more trust you put into it, the more peace you get out of it. Okay? It's real. Real event happened on Easter. Let me go ahead and just kind of play this a little bit more for you guys so you can. We'll close out with this real quick here because the Lion of the tribe of Judah.
Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've taken about 7 or 8 of those pictures and put them together in a flip book, and you can see the different images, and that this event, you know, is taking place here because there's more that happens here. Okay, so starting here, we're going to go forward a little bit here through a lot of these images, all the way to right about here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been
are all in a different dimension. They're all over the sky in your clouds, but they're so close in your face you can't see them. If you could step outside your body or outside your head and get a perspective of the sky from a mile back from where you're standing, you would see this dimension. It's a dimension you can't see with your eyes because you're too zoomed into it. Like I said, if you could step back out of your body, you could see all this activity going on in your skies. And I see it plain as day. My vision is a little different, but
each frame and then put into a flip book, and you can clearly see Jesus's face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay?
And this stuff follows me everywhere I go. Every day, this activity follows me. If there's clouds in the sky, there are faces, all kinds of stuff watching me everywhere I go. They watch every move. They follow, watch, and study me just like you do because of who I am. I delight in brightening your perspective. That's why I ventured into your world, knowing full well the terrible price I would pay. I came to open eyes that are blind. I came to free captives from prison, and I came to release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness. When you find yourself imprisoned by ingratitude, ask me to open your eyes and release you from that dark place. You live in an age of entitlement, so you need to counteract the message proclaiming that you deserve more. One way is to jot down some things that you're thankful for each day. This changes your focus from things you wish you had to recognizing the blessings that you already have. Saturating your mind with scripture can help you see from my infinitely wise perspective. My word is sharper than any double-edged sword, and I use it to perform spiritual surgery on the thoughts and attitudes of your heart. As scripture lights up your point of view, I set you free from the dungeon of ingratitude, releasing you to enjoy the pleasures of a thankful heart. Okay, that's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. I gotta get going. Very, very compact day. A lot going on. All right. I love you guys. Real event. This stuff happens to me because of who I am. And not to tout anything about my birthday, which is coming up here soon, but it's 3 days after spring. What was 3 days after spring? Sure sounds like Easter to me. Yeah. The celestial Easter, not man's calendar. Anyways, I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. In fact, I'm already back. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I love you. Bye.